Did you know that a 2018 study published in the Review of Economics and Statistics found that nearly 1/3 of lottery winners in Florida filed for bankruptcy within 3 to 5 years? These people had millions, yet many ended up broke. So the real question isn't why poor people done to get money. It is why they can, to keep it even when they do. Today, I'm exposing the psychological traps that keep people stuck in poverty. And no, this has nothing to do with how hard you work. If this makes you uncomfortable, good. Truth usually does. Subscribe, because this will change how you see money. Let me tell you about Marcus, a composite example based on real patterns. He grew up watching his parents fight over bills every night. By age 10, his brain learned something dangerous. Money equals stress, conflict, and pain. 20 years later, Marcus earns decent money as a technician, yet he's broke by the 3rd week every month. New sneakers, expensive dinners, lending money that never comes back. It looks like bad spending, but it's deeper. His brain associates having money with negative emotions, so subconsciously he sabotages himself to return to what feels familiar and safe, being broke. This is financial trauma. When you grow up in scarcity, your brain develops survival patterns. You focus on today, not next month. Investing feels like gambling. You spend money fast because you believe it will disappear anyway. This isn't stupidity. It's your brain protecting you. But here is the brutal truth. The same survival mechanisms that once helped you are now the chains keeping you poor. Then there's the scarcity mindset. In their 2013 book Scarcity, Sendil Mullainathan and Eldar Shafir showed that scarcity creates tunneling. When you're constantly worried about rent or food, your brain loses the bandwidth for long-term thinking. You take payday loans because you need cash now. You buy cheap items that break quickly because you can't afford the upfront cost of quality. Poverty isn't just lack of money, it's lack of mental bandwidth. Take Sarah, a single mother working 2 jobs. She's exhausted and stressed. When her car breaks down, she can't afford a proper fix, so she chooses a cheap repair that fails again. She misses work, takes a payday loan, and the cycle repeats. Sarah isn't dumb. She's trapped in a system where every option is bad and her brain is stuck in survival mode, not strategy mode. Now add social media. Humans judge success relative to others. 50 years ago, you compared yourself to neighbors. Today, it's Instagram millionaires and TikTok entrepreneurs. This creates relative deprivation, feeling poor not because you are, but because everyone else looks rich. That pain drives irrational spending. Designer clothes, financed cars, debt for appearances. Feeling left behind hurts more than future consequences. I watched this destroy my cousin Jake. He earned $35,000 a year but drove a $50,000 car on a brutal loan. Looking broke felt like failure. He'd rather be actually broke while looking successful than financially stable in a used Honda. Research published in the Journal of Consumer Research shows status-driven consumption is strongest among lower-income individuals. When you've felt invisible your whole life, that logo feels like proof of worth, even if it bankrupts you. There's also learned helplessness, discovered by psychologist Martin Seligman. After repeated failures, people stop trying. Apply for 50 jobs, get rejected every time, and your brain learns effort doesn't matter. You stop seeing opportunities not because they don't exist, but because past experience trained you to believe you're powerless. Poverty becomes a mental prison. Add instant gratification bias. A 2006 study in the Journal of Political Economy found low-income households heavily discount future rewards. If saving has always been wiped out by emergencies, your brain learns the future is unreliable. So you maximize pleasure now. This is why financial literacy programs often fail, not because people don't understand budgeting, but because their experience taught them planning is pointless. Your social environment reinforces this. If everyone around you is broke, being broke is normal. No one talks about investing or building skills, only surviving until Friday. And when someone tries to rise, they face guilt, criticism, or sabotage. I've seen people kill their own momentum because their circle made success feel like betrayal. So what actually helps? No lies here. Poverty is systemic. Wages, healthcare, access, and policy matter. Psychology is only part of the equation. But here's what research shows you can control. First, accept that money is emotional, not logical. Write down your earliest money memories. Identify the beliefs you absorbed. If you think rich people are evil, you'll avoid wealth. Awareness is step 1. Second, if you have any income stability, automate savings before you see the money. Behavioral economist Richard Thaler showed this removes willpower from the equation. Even 2% matters. Start microscopic. If you're in pure survival mode, skip saving and focus on income first. Third, build skills cheaply and strategically. Free YouTube tutorials, Google certificates, library books, trade skills. Georgetown University research shows many certificates outperform college degrees in ROI. Study what jobs exist locally and take the cheapest path to qualify. It's exhausting, but proven. Fourth, change your information environment. Unfollow content that makes you feel inadequate. Join free communities like Our Poverty Finance. Consume content from people who escaped poverty, not those born rich. Fifth, train delayed gratification in small doses. Wait 24 hours before non-essential purchases over $20. Track spending for 1 month, not to judge, but to see patterns. Sixth, fight the poverty tax. Poor people pay more through fees, high interest, and predatory loans. Use credit unions when possible. Call banks and dispute fees. These battles are draining, but they add up. Finally, change your identity language. Stop saying, "I'm bad with money." Say, "I'm learning." Cognitive behavioral research shows language shapes belief, and belief shapes behavior. Escaping poverty isn't about working harder. It is about recognizing psychological traps while acknowledging real structural barriers and changing what you can control even when it's uncomfortable. Comment which trap hit you hardest, share this with someone who needs it, and remember, poverty is not permanent, but the mindset can be if you done to fight it. Subscribe for content that breaks money myths and explains the psychology behind poverty. Subscribe if you want content that doesn't lie to you, doesn't sugarcoat reality, and doesn't pretend mindset alone fixes systemic problems. This channel is about understanding money at the psychological level, where real change actually starts. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.